Alrighty, sounds good. Welcome everybody. Today is March 12th, 2024. This is a 4 o'clock court meeting, special call meeting to try to get some agenda items done. If you all wouldn't mind, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and ask Tammy to come up. I believe she has her resolution. Thank you.
Hello, this resolution is for the House Bill 1 project funds, county clerk election equipment grant in the amount up to $46,594.39. Franklin County was originally eligible for almost $190,000 for election equipment, in which we applied and we spent $142,603. So this $46,000 is the remaining amount, and these funds expire June 30th of 2024, and they don't roll over. So this is just for us to establish an agreement with Department for Local Government to spend the remaining funds.
All right, thank you, Tammy. Any questions from the court members? Seeing none, we're going to move on. Next item, Amy. How are you doing, Amy?
Good.
Good.
So with these next two agenda items, I'm proposing that the court authorize hiring Compass Municipal Advisors and Stites and Harbison to provide financial and legal advice in the managing of our ARPA funds. So the agenda item that's before you now is the resolution that hires Stites and Compass and adopts the expenditure approval policy. The second agenda item is the Stites and Harbison engagement agreement. And we have Compass on Zoom, Keith Brock and RJ Palmer.
Squire Blackburn.
Can you tell me why we're doing this?
To manage the ARPA funds. We have close to $8 million. Well, it's just under $8 million that needs to be expended by the end of this year. Compass and Stites, they represent 61 counties. In talking to some other treasurers that have done this, I just think it's in our best interest.
I agree. Thank you.
And Squire, I mean, I think when it came up, we all know how much Amy's overworked, and I think that's one of the reasons for this meeting today is to hopefully hire her somebody. So it's kind of all has to do with this.
And since our grant writer's been so successful, we've got more to deal with. So
It's a good problem to have.
I wanted the public to know there was a reason we were doing it.
Absolutely.
Well, and I want to say too, with federal money, it's so difficult to read some of this stuff, and you read one paragraph and it says you can do something, and the next paragraph says you can't, and it's really difficult to keep up with, I think, sometimes. So I think it's we're keeping ourselves safe doing this too.
Yep. Any other questions?
Judge.
Squire Wishing.
Amy, could you break down the differentiation? The contract sort of is vague in my mind, at least, about the two entities, Compass versus Stites, and what each will be responsible for? How and why we're hiring the two entities, or how are they interrelated?
Keith, would you care to address that?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, good evening and thanks for having us. Basically, when we put this program together, for a lot of the reasons that you guys are discussing, staff time, the complexities of the program and so forth, we realized we needed to have a legal component to it. And so the way we work together is they handle all of the legal, technical parts of the program, including, signing off on the expenditure approvals that the policy lays out. And then Compass, we work on more the financial side, the administrative, the reporting, working with the audit process and so forth. So that's how the two roles are distinguished.
Thanks.
Not a question, it's a comment of why I support this move, because of the risk management is great. We cannot misuse these funds. The consequences would be severe. We wouldn't be eligible for very many more federal grants. They would be sideways with us constantly, and we need to make sure that we're transparent and everybody knows we're above board and doing what's right, and it's worth. I know the county attorneys can do this, but I'm sure you don't have time, and so I think we need to move forward with this as soon as possible. We have, what, $8 million laying in the bank. It's under this program, and I'd hate to know that we were at risk.
Thank you, Squire. Any other questions for Amy or Keith or RJ?
Just a general question. The way the contract is written, these consultants will be available to the full governing body, right? There's a lot of desire to use these funds in certain ways in this community, I think, and by some of this body. But as yet, we've not really, as a body, explored what these funds could be used for outside of, say, in park improvements. So I'm anxious to make sure that we can explore all of our priorities for this community. And if we're advised that funds can only be used in a certain way or more favorably in a manner, I hope we can have that conversation as a larger body. It's just a comment.
Also, I have one more comment that I left out, Judge, if I could.
Go ahead, Squire.
I'm confident that Amy could do it all, should she have 80 hours in a day.
Thank you, Squire. All righty. See no other questions, we're going to keep moving. Thank you, Amy. All righty, I guess we're going to authorization to go into closed session per KRS 61.81.
We've got this other contract. Were we doing both at the same time?
Oh, I thought we were doing both at the same time.
I had some technical questions about
All righty,
the other.
well.
Sorry.
Thank you, I'm sorry, I thought we would, that's fine, go ahead.
Just generally in the contract, there's a few things that seem to come up always in the court. Severability is 30 days. Mediation, I'm concerned about any contract about being forced into mediation, but I know Squire Sebastian always brings up the venue of controlling law for us, and it against is Fayette County in this contract, and the preference of this court has been continuously to have Franklin County named as that jurisdiction. If we can change that, is that a possibility?
I don't know if we have anybody from states on here. Keith, is that anything you could answer or not really?
No, unfortunately, I can't speak to that.
Okay. Mr. County Attorney, what are your thoughts on that?
And I can speak to the mediation portion of it. I think sometimes people hear mediation and arbitration, they are two separate things. I can tell you in just about my 18 years of practice now, any civil matter that you litigate around here anywhere, they're going to require you to go to mediation, so it's not really going to be an option before they'll set a trial date. So requiring mediation in a contract is simply something that every circuit court is going to do just for docket control. And so it's not requiring arbitration, which is binding on the parties, which is a completely different animal. So, I mean, that's something that's going to happen anyway should litigation ensue. As far as the venue provision, we can potentially talk to them about changing that. I understand why they're based out of Lexington, and that's a standard is where you're based out of is where you litigate matters, but that's just 26 miles from here actually to the courthouse in Lexington if you have to litigate there. I don't know that because I've driven it multiple times.
Your time and travel.
So.
Hey Keith, do you know, just curious, I mean, how many years has Stites and Harbison been in practice? Would you know a number there? Just
I wouldn't even want to venture. RJ, do you got any thoughts on that one?
a long time.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, yes, but I don't know when they were incorporated.
Okay. Go ahead, Squire.
Just one other thing for Amy, the payment budgeted $117,000 to 3/4% for each entity. Is that fairly standard in your experience and what other communities are paying? I'm just wondering how that correlates.
Keith, that is the rate for all counties, is that correct?
Correct, it's the rate all of them are paying, and as you spend the money. So, when we prepare the documentation for an approval, it'll include an administrative cost for that 1.5%, and that's paid with ARPA dollars.
Just fine? Okay. All right, thank you. Alrighty. Authorization to go into closed session per KRS 61.8101F, discussions or hearings which might lead to the appointment, discipline, or dismissal of an individual employee.
So moved.
Second. Clerk, did you get that?
Yes.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Thank you. All right, we're going into closed session. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you all being on here today. We are now in open session. Next matter is authorization to hire a bookkeeper. Does anybody have any questions about that?
Did you call for a vote on going back into session?
Yeah, we did that. Yep. You got that right?
Yes.
We can't remember
Yeah,
if
we
we
did.
voted or not.
Yeah. No, I appreciate y'all trying to keep me square. Alrighty, seeing none, we're gonna go ahead and move into the voting session. Clerk, please call roll.
Squire Sebastian.
Here.
Squire Blackburn.
Present.
Squire Dykus.
Here.
Squire Tracy.
Here.
Squire Tanner.
Here.
Squire Wisman.
Present.
Judge Moeller.
Present, thank you. Authorization to approve a resolution authorizing the filing of an application to the Kentucky State Board of Elections for the Franklin County Clerk's Office.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve a resolution adopting a policy for engaging financial and legal advice for the expenditure of American Rescue Plan Act, state and local fiscal recovery funds, a policy for approving compliant expenditures and repealing inconsistent resolutions.
So moved.
Second.
Did you get it, clerk?
Yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to approve an agreement with Stites and Harbison, PLLC, and County of Franklin to provide professional legal assistance in the administration, planning, execution, expenditure of SLFRF federal assistance.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say. Motion passes. Authorization to hire Susan Beeler as our new part-time bookkeeper.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. We are adjourned. Thank you, Gordon.
23 minutes.